Mastering ethical considerations. Core values dictate daily decisions, and leaders who ignore them do so at their own peril. How do an organization's core values impact its operational decision-making, and what specific influence do they have on the decisions its leaders make on a daily basis? An organization's core values have a profound impact on its operational decision-making, as they serve as the guiding principles that shape the company's culture, behavior, and overall direction. These values are the fundamental beliefs and principles that drive an organization's actions, decisions, and goals, and they play a critical role in influencing the decisions its leaders make on a daily basis. Core values can impact operational decision-making in several ways. 1. Defining priorities. Core values help organizations set clear priorities, which in turn guide decision-making. For instance, if an organization values customer satisfaction above all else, its leaders will prioritize decisions that ensure exceptional customer experience, even if it means sacrificing short-term profits. 2. Informing risk management. Core values influence an organization's risk tolerance and appetite. If an organization values safety above all else, its leaders will be more cautious in their decision-making, erring on the side of caution to ensure the well-being of employees and customers. 3. Shaping resource allocation. Core values influence how resources are allocated within an organization. If an organization values innovation, its leaders will allocate resources to support research and development, even if it means diverting funds from other areas. 4. Guiding communication. Core values shape an organization's communication style and tone. If an organization values transparency, its leaders will prioritize open and honest communication, even when the news is difficult to share. 5. Influencing talent management. Core values impact an organization's approach to talent management. If an organization values diversity and inclusion, its leaders will prioritize creating a workplace culture that is welcoming and inclusive to all employees. 6. Defining success. Core values define what success means to an organization. If an organization values environmental sustainability, its leaders will prioritize decisions that minimize its environmental footprint, even if it means sacrificing short-term gains. Specifically, an organization's core values can influence the decisions its leaders make on a daily basis in the following ways. 1. Hiring and firing. Leaders will make hiring and firing decisions based on whether a candidate aligns with the organization's core values. If an organization values empathy, its leaders will prioritize hiring employees who demonstrate empathy and compassion. 2. Budgeting and resource allocation. Leaders will allocate resources based on the organization's core values. If an organization values employee development, its leaders will prioritize budgeting for training and development programs. 3. Performance evaluations. Leaders will evaluate employee performance based on how well they align with the organization's core values. If an organization values teamwork, its leaders will prioritize evaluating team collaboration and communication. 4. Crisis management. Leaders will respond to crises based on the organization's core values. If an organization values transparency, its leaders will prioritize open and honest communication during times of crisis. 5. Innovation and risk-taking. Leaders will make decisions about innovation and risk-taking based on the organization's core values. If an organization values innovation, its leaders will prioritize investing in research and development, even if it means taking calculated risks. In conclusion, an organization's core values have a profound impact on its operational decision-making, serving as the guiding principles that shape the company's culture, behavior, and overall direction. By understanding the specific influence of core values on daily decision-making, leaders can ensure that their decisions align with the organization's overall mission and vision, ultimately driving operational excellence. The dance of values and operations. As I sat in the conference room, surrounded by the top brass of a multinational corporation, I couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. The topic of discussion was the proposed cost-cutting measures that would require laying off nearly 1,000 workers. The numbers were crunched, the data was presented, and the logic seemed sound. But something didn't sit right with me. I thought back to my days at a textile mill in Quebec, where I saw firsthand the impact of similar decisions on the livelihoods of entire communities. The memory of a factory worker, tears streaming down her face, as she wondered how she would provide for her family, still lingered in my mind. I knew that behind every statistic, there was a human being with a story, with hopes and fears. As the discussion progressed, I noticed that the CEO, a seasoned executive with a no-nonsense approach, was pushing for the layoffs. He argued that it was a necessary evil to stay competitive in the market. But I sensed a disconnect between his words and the organization's stated values of putting people first. It was as if there were two parallel universes at play, one driven by profit, the other by purpose. I decided to intervene, not to challenge the CEO's logic, but to inject a dose of humanity into the conversation. What if we explored alternative solutions that wouldn't require sacrificing our people? I asked. The room fell silent, as if I had dared to question the sacred cow of profit maximization. The CEO looked at me, a hint of annoyance in his eyes, but I held my ground. Our values are not just platitudes on a wall, I said. They are the fabric of who we are as an organization. If we compromise on them, we risk losing the very essence of our identity. The words hung in the air, and for a moment, it seemed like time had stopped. Then, something remarkable happened. The CEO's demeanor softened, and he began to open up about his own struggles as a leader. He shared his fears of not meeting the expectations of the board, of being accountable to the shareholders. I saw, in that moment, a glimmer of empathy, a willingness to understand the human cost of our decisions. The conversation shifted, and we started exploring alternative scenarios that would safeguard the jobs while maintaining operational efficiency. It wasn't easy, and it required creative problem-solving, but we eventually found a way to make it work. As we wrapped up the meeting, I realized that operational excellence is not just about streamlining processes or cutting costs. It's about staying true to our values, even when it's hard. It's about recognizing that every decision we make has a ripple effect on the lives of our people, our customers, and the communities we serve. In that moment, I understood that values are not some abstract concept to be debated in a vacuum. They are the guiding force behind our daily decisions. They are what make us who we are, and what we stand for. As leaders, we have a choice to make. We can chase profits at any cost, or we can create a culture where people matter, where empathy and compassion are not seen as weaknesses, but as strengths. Operational excellence is not a destination. It's a journey, one that requires us to stay grounded in our values, even when the stakes are high. In the end, it's not about making the right decision. It's about making the decision that aligns with who we are, what we stand for, and what we want to achieve. It's about being true to ourselves, even when it's hard.